Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got Travis Hunter signing with Adidas, the next step in the Kobe agenda, A'ja Wilson getting paid, the week's hottest release, and of course, we have our Hard Pass. All right, let's start the show like we always do. Here's some hot takes. So it's the end of an era as Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter has signed with Adidas. That means the fun-loving series of videos where Travis would infiltrate Colorado coach Deion Sanders' room and, let's say, borrow Coach Prime's coveted Nike player exclusives, those days are gone. Or, they probably still do it, it's just without the cameras on until Hunter leaves for the NFL in a few weeks. It's a huge coup for Adidas as Hunter already has a huge fan base that will follow him into the league and a dynamic game that will be fodder for all the highlight reels if he lives up to his game-changing two-way potential. For his debut event with Adidas on 5th Avenue in New York City, he was rocking Bad Bunny's SL72 collab, so a lifestyle component is not out of the question either. Like, it would not shock me if he follows in Patrick Mahomes' footsteps and becomes a football signature athlete for the Three Stripes. It's not a bold statement to say, but I'll say it anyway. Travis Hunter could be Adidas football's Anthony Edwards. His ceiling is that high. Believe that. Sky's the limit for Travis, and that is very cool to see. Now, if only these body language experts on social media would mind their own business or just casually observe and let it play out. This is Hard Pass. We're a sneaker show, kinda. So we're not going to get into what everyone else is talking about in regard to Travis and his life off the field, but what we will say is this. Obviously, there's a line, but come on, people. We are so far away from that line, and let's not forget, these are kids. Let them live and figure it out for themselves. Stop projecting your own relationship failures onto the Heisman Trophy winner, lest he stiff arms you while rocking a pair of real, non-custom AE1 cleats next season. And keeping it on the three-stripe side of things, after months of leaks and teasers, we finally get to see the Adidas Harden Volume 9 on the court, and man, if the AE1 didn't already win Sneaker of the Year in the minds of most people, the Volume 9 would be right up there. I guess with the first non-China exclusive colorway coming in January, that means it's officially a 2025 shoe, but after having seen it so much online in 2024, the Harden Volume 9 feels like the Indiana Jones in the Great Circle of Sneakers, debuting at the end of the year when most people already have their picks locked up. The Volume 9 also had a blockbuster premiere as James scored 41 points and helped the Los Angeles junior varsity basketball team pick up the win. While we try not to talk about raw sales numbers, when it comes to keeping the interest of the people, it sure seems like Adidas basketball is winning the conversation at the moment with the AE1 and Harden Volume 9, and as someone who loves the competition, love it. But before James and Anthony and Travis and Patrick, there was Derrick Rose leading the charge for Adidas. I think it's interesting how Adidas has handled the transition of D Rose from their top dog into a signature athlete emeritus of sorts, popping up on other projects for the brand. Of course, there was the Yeezy Foam Runner collab that's probably never going to see the light of day now, and he's front and center in the marketing of the Fear of God basketball too. Not only that, Jerry Lorenzo has revealed samples with the iconic D Rose logo. Now, whether or not that means a collaboration that gets an actual release is on the way is up in the air. But the strategy of keeping Rose on board after he's no longer an active NBA player is going to pay off for Adidas. Rose is one of those rare types who not only was an MVP level talent, but he has had and still has a connection to his fans worldwide, particularly those in the Chicago area. That's something not a lot of others have. It's LeBron in Cleveland, Steph in Oakland, Giannis Smith Milwaukee, Joker in Denver, KD with who am I kidding? It's a part of a long-tail strategy with Rose and Adidas, and call me a fan. We shouldn't be setting these legends aside once their playing days are done. And while Adidas is using their recent past to prop up their future, Nike is building up their future with the present. It's being reported that A'ja Wilson has signed an extension that is one of the most lucrative for a woman athlete at the swoosh. I mean, what more needs to be said? She's the best player in the W right now, the reigning MVP, and easily could have been the defensive player of the year too. Like, she deserves it all because she earned it all. Now, give us the signature shoe we've all been waiting for, damn it. You're never going to convince us that our small role in the constant bullying by the internet did not play a role in the speeding up of the timeline of the A'ja 1. Like, I condone bullying of all sorts, but as the great philosopher Zach Randolph once said, where I'm from, bullies get bullied. In this case, the bully was Nike for stalling with Asia, and we were all the bigger bullies in making it happen in 2025. Be proud of yourselves, because, man, could you imagine if we were on the Sabrina 4, the Caitlyn 2, and even the Juju 1 before we got the Asia 1? It's okay to make a modern WNBA signature shoe for a player who was drafted before 2020. Nike, it's fine. And P.S., don't make it look like a LeBron, or else everybody is just going to say, why they look like a LeBron? Like the way that they do whenever they see a Sabrina or a Jai, and they say they look like Kobe's. Chase B has given us a first look at the Air Jordan 1 High 85 in the Royal colorway. No suede, no nubuck, no reimagined elements, just the Air Jordan 1 in the same high-cut style of the 1985 original in the royal blue colorway that Michael Jordan once wore in the legendary poster. And since it's 2025 and not 2015, hopefully that means these will sit for a few weeks, so anybody that wants them will be able to get them, no problem, and we go to have an appreciation for the 2023 reimagined pair as giving the royal ones a different look and feel instead of the bricks that a lot of people were claiming they were just because they sat and didn't resell for double or triple the retail price. In other words, we might have a chance to appreciate or critique these sneakers for what they are and not the social capital they might give us. I realize that's probably not going to happen because we always have to bring in the big picture takes. But whatever. I should be able to buy these like they're a pair of Legend Blue 11s, aka no big deal. And for this week's pick of the week, it's this week's installment of the Kobe agenda. Vanessa Bryant revealed that the Nike Kobe 6 Grinch cleats are dropping on Christmas Day. No, it's not a rescheduled drop of the pair that's on the feet of every top Nike football guy for the past few weeks in college and the NFL. Nah, I'm talking about a mismatched pair of Grinch cleats that includes the original green colorway and the reverse red colorway in one package. I'm sure that's going to annoy a lot of old NFL heads, but honestly, who cares what they think? Let the multicolored mismatched cleats fly, man. It makes for a more interesting game to watch when we let the players cook and show off their personality. And once these cleats are a normal part of an NFL Sunday, let's see them on the pitch in the Premier League and on the PGA Tour once we get into major season next year. We've been hammering Nike Golf lately about their approach to how they promote their biggest stars. See us talk about it on the last episode of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. And one way that I would like to see them do it is by bringing these cleated Kobes to the tour. Have Scottie Scheffler and Nelly Korda show their Mamba mentality and Grinch golf shoes. For the high-tech TGL debut season that's about to start in a few weeks, have Rory McIlroy rock a Boston Common PE of the Kobe 6. Maybe Tiger can't... Oh, right, my bad. He can't do that anymore. Anyways, stay tuned next week as we try to figure out how Kobe shoes will work in pickleball, aka the fastest growing sport among us olds who can't play tennis without embarrassing ourselves. So file this one under things we did not expect, but Reebok has signed Bryson DeChambeau to a unique deal that will see the brand outfit his live golf team, Crushers GC. Why am I not surprised that that's the name of his live golf team? And also partner with Bryson on an individual basis. Not only will he wear Crushers gear with Reebok branding, he'll also be wearing the Nano Golf, Reebok's first new performance golf shoe in forever. And I say forever because it has been a while since the brand was a prominent force in the sport. You have to go all the way back to the late 80s and early 90s when Greg Norman, future former Live Golf CEO, had a licensing deal with Reebok to produce Shark branded gear, and John Daly, two-time major winner and the real people's champion, was rocking green Reebok windbreakers en route to winning the 1995 British Open. If Bryson has a vision board for what he wants to do with Reebok, he needs to look at Daly for inspiration, America pants and all. It's time for this week's Hard Pass. We'll take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like Offset's appearance on last week's episode of Sneaker Shopping. And let me clarify before you get all upset. I don't have a problem with Offset showing up on Sneaker Shopping. As a matter of fact, I applaud his appearance because while he was there to promote his latest single, he spent over $9,000 for 80-plus sneakers and donated them to Gwinnett County foster families. But there are a handful of quotes making the rounds on the socials that, let's say, raise some eyebrows. First, Offset said that the year 2024 in sneakers was ass. He said it with the conviction of somebody who scrolled through sneaker Instagram accounts all throughout the year and came to the conclusion that it was ass. Now, before a certain section of the online sneaker community jumps on him, let's keep it a buck. Offset has every right to his opinion. He's someone who has access to basically every sneaker imaginable that dropped in 2024. From GRs to luxury brands to the most exclusive of exclusives, all he has to do is make a phone call or drop a few bands or initiate a transaction with a big-time collector like Mayer, and it's at his doorstep a day later. That's not to say he's the only authority when it comes to sneakers because, hey, it's one man's opinion. But because of his access and celebrity, there is some weight attached to it. His main argument is that Nike and Jordan brand are bringing back the grails, and that doesn't sit well with him. Wu-Tang Dunks today, undefeated Jordan 4s next year. Nothing is sacred anymore. The value of those grails are dropping, both in actual dollar value and the allure they have. Offset is saying that instead of recycling old models from 20 years ago, Nike and Jordan brand should be focused on rebirth, aka do new shit. And there's nothing wrong with that take. If it wasn't Offset who said it, I think most people would be in agreement that Nike and Jordan brand would not be forced to dig through the vaults to find sneakers that get people hyped if the new stuff they were actually dropping resonated with the people. It's not a blazing hot take, nor is it a milquetoast one. It's a pretty valid take about 2024 when it comes to sneakers. But because it came from Offset, it comes with said weight. Naturally, when you lead an article or an IG post with a headline that Offset said 2024 was ass for sneakers, that's going to get people engaged or enraged. You've got people who disagree with this take, some who agree with him, and then there are those who actually have something to say. Like, if your contribution to the conversation is, hey, he's right, or nah, he's got it wrong, and there's no follow-up, I wish someone at ChatGPT or OpenAI or one of these companies would develop a bot that eliminates these comments from my feed on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere, because they contribute nothing. Give me reasons. Like, Offset has a skewed perspective about this because of his wealth, or he's wrong about the Wu-Tang Dunks because he's missing a lot of context about why the RZA decided to finally do a public release of the shoes. Like, when I see those type of comments, I gain a little more faith in humanity because they pay attention. I need a little less of people who just say shit for the sake of saying shit. So here's the thing. Why can't we have both? Why can't we have sneakers that were considered grails for 20-something years come back? And why can't Nike and Jordan brand also make new shit that becomes the grails that we want 20-something years later? It's not as easy as I make it sound, but that's why they're a billion-dollar company, and I'm a guy with a YouTube channel that has over 1 million subscribers. Big difference between billions and a million. No matter how you slice that. At the same time, the swoosh and the Jumpman need to understand that sneaker culture is alive and thriving even if their presence doesn't loom as large as it used to. Black cements are sitting, but Sambas and gel Cayanos are selling out. People's tastes are changing, and that's a good thing. It's why we see the Adidas AE1 win Sneaker of the Year awards and why Jay Tipton bringing buzz to Saucony that wasn't there before. It might not bring the numbers at resale and on social media that what the Kobe 8 generates. By the way, those are reportedly coming back in 2025, but that's just because the general public hasn't caught up yet. It's why we still see Panda Dunks everywhere we go, and Jordan Retros are the default sneaker of any NFL tunnel walk or WWE promo segment. It's going to take a second for them to catch up, but if Asics and Saucony are able to maintain their momentum, it would not shock me if Offset came back in a few years to do another episode of Sneaker Shopping and say that 2024 was actually a banger of a year. And while that's happening, Nike and Jordan brand should be coming up with new hits to go along with their mining of the classics. Like, there's a new runner coming in 2025. It's going to be called the V5 R&R that's priced at $90. It's got a nice, clean, accessible design that anybody can rock with. Yeah, Nike has newer runners like the V2K and the P6000 that achieve the same thing that the V5 is going for, but their starting price is $120. $90 is a different beast. It's giving everybody buying KD4s in 2011 because they were $88 type of energy. It's Nike finally saying they need to compete with the budget runners like the Asics Gel 1130 or the New Balance 530. Why do I mention those two specifically? Well, because they're both priced at $100 or less before discounts, and if you Google Asics or New Balance, those are the first sneakers that pop up in suggested results. When you Google Nike, the Vomeros are the first result. And while you can get Vomeros now for $90 on sale, they start at $150. Not bad, but there's a big difference between $150 and $90. So, as we close out the year in Hard Pass, next week's episode is an actual award show, so stay tuned for that. Let's keep a few things in mind. 2024 was a good year for sneakers, not so much for the hypebeast pining for 2014. However, if they adjust their taste and expand their brand selection, this year would have been a banger after banger after banger for them. That hype wave is coming though, so enjoy this chill period. If you can call this a chill period. Look, Have fun being able to walk into a Foot Locker and buy black cement 3s or Legend Blue 11s. Gel Cayano 14s and SL 72s and 6090s aren't tough to get now, but once people burn through their Panda Dunks and AEW wrestlers discover there's actually other cool sneakers beside Jordan 1s, it's going to be messy. And we're going to be here to chronicle it all in 2025 because that's how we do. And before we go, a quick shout out to the 2024 NBA Cup champion, the Milwaukee Bucks. A few weeks ago, I made a point about the importance of this tournament to the grand scheme of things in the NBA and that it was going to take some time for people to care about it. We all know it's never going to be on the same level of importance as a Larry O'Brien trophy, but now we got a champion whose legacy is going to have an interesting footnote should he never win a ring. I'm talking, of course, about Damian Lillard. Giannis won the cup. He's happy. He's dancing. He got paid. He's good. Why? Because he's got an NBA championship. But Dame only has an NBA cup. For now. What if he never gets the O'Brien? It's going to be interesting what the hot takes are going to be if that comes to pass. If anything, the pressure is even greater now on Dame, and that might actually elevate the Bucks. Anyway, that's my glass half full take on the NBA Cup. Haters. Appreciate the comedy and hope that someone like Karl Anthony Towns or Joel Embiid wins it next year because the jokes, then they're definitely going to be wild. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. And if you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.